Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Dynamo.
From
Bradford.
From Bradford.
I like Dynamo, to be fair.
Good game.
It's good, clever.
We are the Office Blokes and we are smashing our way through some Patreon requests today. So I will hand over to Office Bloke Mike for more information.
Yeah. Well, for this one, it's for Jeff Burdick.
Cheers, Jeff.
Nice one.
Supporter of the channel for a while, Jeff.
Long time, Jeff.
Yeah.
This is St. Paul Punks.
St. Pauli.
St. Pauli.
Oh, St. Pauli Punks.
Think like, yeah, St. Pauli.
Fight for the
German
football club they want.
So I don't. Is this going to be a firm and their football club's going out of business? That's Arsenal, isn't it? Isn't that Arsenal's ground?
It says the Arsenal. That's where I think I recognise this guy from. That is the Emirates, that.
That's the Emirates, isn't it? It looks like it.
So this isn't that Fan TV guy, is it?
No.
I'm not sure.
No. He could be, but I'm not sure. I recognise his face, but I don't watch Arsenal Fan TV, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just seen clips when they interview
people. I do recognise that guy's face.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into it, see, because I'm not sure what to expect with this one.
St. Pauli, if it's St. Pauli, is a team in Germany.
Right. And the St. Pauli Punks is probably going to be their firm or their fans or whatever.
Right, okay.
The Ultras.
I wonder if they're all becoming Arsenal fans or something. This could be interesting.
If you're going to choose a club, you wouldn't choose Arsenal.
Well, it depends how much money you got for tickets. Expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, most expensive.
Secret that in leagues all across Europe, fans have become disillusioned with the experience of attending live football games. As ticket prices continue to soar and more seats are given over to corporate sponsors, ordinary fans are increasingly being kept away from stadiums.
I want to put it out there before we start. This is definitely right up our street, isn't it?
I would guess so, yeah.
This is me.
Australian,
Every weekend, this is me. No, he's a Cockney. Isn't he?
Is he? He sounds a bit Australian to me.
I think
It's
it's a Cockney.
Was he?
Sounds like London to me.
And those who can afford to go are faced with an atmosphere that is often less than electric.
Oh, no.
On our travels, we found places.
No, you're right.
It's not. It's London.
I'm not sure about that. That's a weird
It's the
accent.
Arsenal fan. It's that Southern Arsenal fan accent.
I can tell you like it.
all around the world where the crowds are still as intense and exciting as ever. But often there's a correlation between that atmosphere and the standard of football on the pitch. The better the atmosphere, the worse the football. But there is one country where they seemingly get everything right. I am of course talking about Germany, where the football is quality, the stadiums are always full, and the atmosphere is electric. I want to go and find out what it is that they're doing that makes it so good, and see if there's anything.
I think he's Australian now you mention it.
Yeah,
there's
a
few
twang
words.
there.
Bit of a
Definitely
twang, yeah.
I've been to United games that are Champions League and it's German teams that they're playing against, and all the German fans in the corner, it's intimidating how just they clap in time and the stamps and it, like just the sort of noise and the orchestration between it. It's like they're going into battle.
If you go to an away game, you see that more often as the away fan.
Right.
When you go to a home game, you get different set of supporters for a home game.
Yeah.
So it's very different. So if you go to a United home,
Yeah.
you'll be more intimidated by the away fans. If you go to a United away game, they intimidate more as a because you get everyone
kind of won.
But everyone who goes to an away game is nuts.
Yeah.
You don't get normal people who go to away games. Everyone's mental.
Yeah.
They're not because they're spending all their money going to the away games.
I've been to like Champions League games with other teams, not just German teams, and for some reason the German fans seem to be a slight different level.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was the synchronicity between the chanting, the clapping. It was just one wall of sound.
German fans are very similar to the English fans that they travel.
Yeah.
So if you get an allocation of 6,000 tickets, they'll sell all 6,000 and more.
Yeah.
Same as Italian. That's how you get Italian fans travel quite well as well. Some of the big clubs. But it's I miss football. When I see them crowds, I just proper miss it.
Yeah.
That can be done to reverse the trend in stadiums across the rest of Europe. All of which means I'm gonna have to go watch some serious football. Let's do it. For my first stop, I've come to Hamburg, where I'm finally going to experience the legendary atmosphere of St. Pauli. Known the world over for their left-wing politics, their punk ethos and their riotous atmosphere, St. Pauli are a great example of everything that makes German football great.
You don't get a lot of punk music in football hooliganism over here anymore, do you? So
It kind of went out in the 70s and 80s.
There's still there's a hardcore band called The Business that are from London that I think they're pretty iconic in that world, and I'm pretty sure they cross over into the football hooliganism side of things, but it's quite niche
It
now.
was massive in the 70s and 80s, the punk hooligan sort of scene. Then it sort of all calmed down a lot, didn't it?
Yeah.
You can see why. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, now you have certain bands associated with certain clubs.
Yeah.
We have like Oasis and things like United have like Ollie Murs.
Stone Roses, actually.
Punk gets you fired up, though. You can see why people are like hooligans are running into fights when it's tunes like that.
The name of the district here, just around the harbour, the world famous Reeperbahn is.
St. Pauli is well known that there's no racism, right-wing hooliganism, stuff like this.
Against racism, against sexism, against homophobia. To not discriminate against people no matter of color or gender or sexual orientation.
There's so many things that make this club special.
St. Pauli, now you're known for your political ethos and basically the identity of the club, but where did this come from? My understanding is that something happened in the 80s regarding the district itself. And
That was when the other Hamburg club had a lot of problems with racist hooligan stuff, and a lot of former Hamburg fans didn't go anymore to this club, saying, I can't stand side by side with Nazis in the football ground.
Then there was genuine St. Pauli fans who liked the club, but at the time the club was more or less like any other, and they were very active in the squatting movement, in the left-wing movement. And then at the time when in the Harbour Street in Hamburg, the city threatened to evict people, a big squatting movement and protests took place until finally the city gave in and basically gave the houses to the people. They transferred this spirit into St. Pauli, supported politics in the fan and club environment.
Of course, when these people like me and others went to the football, we didn't give our brain away at the entrance door. So then we said, it's nice, but we want cheaper tickets for unemployed. We don't want that the merchandising store sells any right-wing stuff. And then we got organized. We founded the fan scene and so on. And it was growing and growing and getting stronger and stronger. And that result.
We're coming back, we're coming back, we're coming back to you. And we're never gonna go away again. Hold on a little longer, try a little harder, so we all get there together.
how does the club maintain the principles that it so strongly holds?
I think the most important part on that are the supporters, but we're a democratic club. We have 20,000 members, about 7,000 of them do active sports, 13,000 are supporting the club.
The identity of St. Pauli is shaped integrally by the supporters and the fan base, what makes the fan base and what the fan base represents.
The fans are the most important part of the FC St. Pauli. They made the club a special club.
When you become a member of St. Pauli and you go to the annual membership meeting, you can have actual votes.
We put forward candidates for the supervisory board from within the membership, so within the supporter base at the end of the day. And also for the board itself. So now we have a situation where I think from 7 people within the supervisory board, 5 come from the heart of the active fan base of St. Pauli.
The approach of the presidency is to work more collaboratively, to show people that you can stand on your values and still being professional.
It creates a much closer relationship between the club and the fans, because obviously the fans feel more responsible for the well-being of the club and vice versa.
Let's go now,
The story of
This is really interesting, isn't it?
I didn't know this about St. Pauli.
No.
No, me neither.
Well, to be fair, I'd never heard of them, but I'm not as big a football fan as you two are. I just think having like a supervisory board and it's actual fans that have worked their way up.
I think a lot of German clubs are like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think a lot of German clubs are
different over
fan-owned.
there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's different. It's
I
different.
think they have to be, don't they?
Percentage-wise, yeah.
Percentage,
Right.
yeah.
But there's loads of stuff about German football that's right, that they do right, that we don't adopt over here. Because even when you buy a ticket over there in Germany for a football match, it's valid on the trains.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so your match day ticket will probably cost you the equivalent of about €9, something like that. It's a low amount. I don't know what the amount is, but it's a low amount. Whereas over here, if you go to, say, City or Arsenal, Arsenal's mega. City's probably not the best example to use because I think we're one of the cheapest in the league. But Arsenal's one of the expensive. I think the most expensive. Where I think your average ticket price is something like £62.50. I think if I'm not right, £67 is the lowest price.
I mean, I think they're the most expensive in Europe. I stand to be corrected, but I think they are certainly for the season ticket anyway.
But they've only a few seasons ago. Probably I think it's 4 years now. It's come up to 4 years. They've capped the price of the away ticket.
Right.
So an away ticket is £30. That's it.
That's fair.
You don't pay more than £30.
You think what it does for a local economy, having like 5,000-6,000 people just going down there, drinking in the pubs, and
massive, yeah.
There's certain pubs in certain grounds that are just dedicated to away fans. So every week they get the away fans.
Yeah,
and it's packed. It's full. All pubs are full near the grounds always.
Yeah, it's like the one there, Old Trafford. Is it the Trafford?
The Trafford.
I think that actually only opens on match days now.
Only ever open on match days.
I think it does, but obviously
even after the match, it shuts usually a few hours after the match finishes. Because I've been in there and it's like seems like 10 o'clock and it's just closing. Everyone out.
Yeah.
See, we've got Mary D's, which is open as well. But that's like 2 floors, back garden.
Yeah.
Upstairs is members only.
The Bishop's Blaze across the road is a normal pub. So that's the weather.
That's open all the time.
So that's open all the time.
Yeah.
It's good though. I'm enjoying it.
Pauli is, as much as anything, the story of fans sticking up for themselves. When the club made decisions that they felt compromised their integrity, they made themselves heard. They protested, they boycotted, and ultimately they were able to effect the changes that they wanted in the club that they love.
Actually, we have these LED screens when you can send a text message during the match and read your text on the LED screen.
It was really distracting from the game, and we always think that football, for these 90 minutes, football is paramount. Football and the support from the stands, that's what it's all about, not some bullshit.
It was the last match before the winter break, and the supporters got together in the internet, and we're connecting in the internet, and this is where the supporters, the social romantic movement came from.
If you translate word by word, it's social romantics. People will think in a romantic way about social achievements, which is a totally stupid expression. But because the former president put them on the group of people who was against too much commercialization, etc., they simply picked it up and made it their label, their own name.
We take the symbol, the skull and crossbones symbol, which came from the supporters and was taken by the club, and now it's an official club symbol. We just take it back, but instead of making it black and white, we just make it red and black, and we have a strong symbol to show the club that we don't like the club to go in this direction. The club had to react to this and was reacting very fast and said, well, okay, made a mistake there, so sorry for that one, we just take them down, and from that they started to talk again to the social romantics and to us, and from that on I think it became better and better.
One of the reasons...
So that's almost like the gold and green scarves, isn't it, at United, when people are trying to get the Glazers out and everyone's wearing them.
Oh, I thought they were just Norwich fans away.
Look like it, didn't it?
I'm just surprised with them having such... I mean, I didn't realise the sort of fascism thing was such a big problem in Germany, to be fair. And now I'm aware that I say to be fair every other sentence. And the red and black is associated with sort of right-wing groups and stuff, isn't it? So I'm surprised they used that, or maybe they're using that on purpose, that colour scheme, to make a point.
Maybe.
It's proper. There's a lot of layers to this, isn't there?
Yeah, lots.
Fans were able to do this is because of the way that German football clubs are structured.
In Germany we have the 50+1 rule. Historically all clubs are member associations, so they're member owned, and as a supporter you can become a member of your club.
When you become a member of St. Pauli and you go to the annual member meeting, you will have a vote.
And this gives the fans as the highest entity, or the members as the highest entity of the association, a really important power over what the club does and how it's run. That's what I think is the greatest difference towards countries where fans have no possibility to actually develop that sense of responsibility. It draws you closer to the club because you obviously know what's going on, why the money is spent in which ways, and what also the constraints are that you have if you want to run a club successfully.
You were there for the start of Fanladen. Do you want to tell me a bit about it exactly?
That was the end of the 80s when St. Pauli was growing and growing, and much more supporters came into the stadium, and I was asked if I want to build up like a fan project, and for us it was clear we need a base, a venue as a supporters meeting point, not only for match days, also during the week.
At the Fanladen, where we are here now, we don't only do like youth work and social work, but we also organize trips for the away trips for the supporters. We have the supporters clubs organization here, etc., etc. So this is kind of unique for St. Pauli, that you always have a stronger connection to the fan base.
I think it's really important that it's not just a pub, but that it's a space where other things can take place as well, where you can gather, where you are independent in how you want to use or run your premises. For us, this project, the Fanräume, was a really, really important one. We worked for it over quite a few years. It was 400,000 euros that the fan base collected and the fans donated towards this initiative. That it's now actually a reality is incredible. And I think this gives us a lot of independence.
The supporters wanted these rooms. The supporters raised the money and bought the rooms off the club, and so this is all supporters make. Yeah. As you might imagine, when you wander around these rooms, and when you come here tomorrow when there's the match day, you will see that this is like the beating heart of the supporter scene.
What makes St. Pauli's match day different to any others, and what will I see tomorrow?
The match day is not about 90 minutes football. You feel it in the district, that there's like something going on the streets, into the people, that you feel the vibes.
You will have people of all age standing tomorrow. You will have the kids and the families, and you have the old guys just like saying that I've been standing my whole life.
Always when there are visitors from abroad saying, oh, that's so fucking different to other grounds.
We have 7 minutes of silence before kickoff. No advertisement, no announcements. Just fans can get into the mood of the match.
A lot of clubs, you have great atmosphere, but the St. Pauli atmosphere, I would say, is very special. It's exciting every single time, and that makes it so special, definitely.
In coming down to Hamburg and learning about St. Pauli, what I've come to realise is that there are many components that make up the success of this club, but none more so than what stands behind me: the fans, the community, and their spirit. And that's what's led us to here today, match day, where we're going to join this 1,000-man and woman march to the Stadium Milan tour. They've told us that their atmosphere is like none other, and standing amongst this sea of brown, red and white, and of course skull and crossbones, you really get the sense that this is going to be unique.
This is getting
me goosebumps.
It's getting me pumped, and also they're playing Metallica as well at the beginning.
What could be better?
I know, yeah. We've only seen that on some of the NFL flyovers and stuff we've done, where it's like, Jesus.
Just missing the terraces and the old banter of going to away games and stuff like that. I know, as I keep saying, I'm not going back, but I am.
Yeah, you are. So, none of us believed you when you said that.
Yeah, I will. I've never got that, the guy with the megaphone.
I know, get the chants going.
It's a continental European thing, isn't it? It's not happening in England.
It's a definite sort of...
I think you get thrown out in England if you did that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to stand out from the crowd in England, are you? The stewards would bin you off.
You just get the same one starting. You get your singing sections, don't you? You always get a group of guys who come up with all the chants. They all start them off, don't they, in the stands?
You know, the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me at a match, when you look at things like this and you get big crowds like that, sat at ground, and I watched a guy come out of the tunnel, and he had like a vest on, like a high-vis vest.
Yeah.
And he walks right towards me, And he was coming up to the stand I was in. I'm sat there looking. It was before the game. It wasn't packed. And he was just sat there on my own. Well, a couple of people with me. I was looking at the guy, and he walks right up to the front of the stand, looks right at me, pulls that camera out of his pocket, takes a picture, looks at it, turns around and walks off. And when he turns around, he's got police rope on the back. I was like, everyone was looking at me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm paranoid now. I'm like, what the fuck was that all about? I never found out.
It was the same guy that was chucked out at Liverpool last week.
It was before Liverpool. But it was. But I'm just like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
I'm just looking around like that, everybody, and everyone's like looking at me. I'm like,
I thought he's a troublemaker.
Yeah, wow.
Many fans across the world watching this, the idea of having a club like St. Pauli may seem like an impossible dream. But if there's anything to take from my time here in Hamburg, it's that you can and you must strive to make your club represent you and the community as much as possible. Don't just sit there. Find fellow fans from your club with the same opinions, unite and make the club understand your significance. You can enact change. I mean, at the time of filming, St. Pauli were languishing near the bottom of the table in the 2nd division. Yet, at the home match we attended at the Millantor, it was 90 minutes of singing, chanting, celebrating the club. And I know that regardless of the division, it would stay the same. This is the power of having a club of which you are really a part. And if you ask me, that, more than star signings, more than trophies, more than anything, is what a football team is there for. Well, that's it for my time here in Hamburg, but not the end of my journey into discovering German football culture. Next week I'm in Berlin, one of the coolest cities in the country with one of the most unique clubs possibly in the world. So make sure you subscribe to Copper 90 to see that and many of our other videos across the world discovering the world's game.
That was good. I enjoyed
good.
that.
Yeah, it's good to see perspective of other teams in Europe.
It's very much a whole punk rock attitude though. Like he started off the video by saying it's very left wing, it's very anti-fascist, and you can tell just by looking. You don't get a football crowd in this country where everyone's wearing like the studded, patched sort of punk denim jackets and stuff like that. It's just not a thing, is it?
Yeah, it used to be, and that went out of fashion. It was a fashion thing, wasn't it? And that's what it is when you go to football. You go to football now, and it's pure fashion. It's like a fashion show. For the obs that go and you can spot them, they've all got the Stone Island gear on. You know what I mean? It's.
I think a lot of the punk rock scene, every scene that becomes popular has its diehard. Like maybe 10-15% of the scene are that for life. 80%, 85% of people, it's the fashionable thing at the time. That's what listening to metal was when I grew up. That's what punk was in the 70s.
Yeah, of course.
It does go in cycles, doesn't it?
Yeah, things move on, don't they? And people, like I say, just depends what's about at the time, I suppose.
I see people at away games, and it's expensive to go to the away games as well, but I see them. And they're all in like clothes that are like, 700-800 quid jackets. Some of them like $3,500 for a jacket, and they've got the trainers on and the top of the range jeans and all that, and they're there every single. I'm thinking, you must spend every bit of money you've got just going to see.
Fakes.
I don't think they are.
It's all cheating mill specials.
Could be, but I doubt it. You get called out for that now, especially in a crowd.
You always used to. Like one of my mates turned up in high school in a fake pair of Rockports that he got on holiday and thought they were legit, and he came in wearing them, and literally it took 10 seconds for someone to go, they're fake. And, they looked legit, but for people who liked it, there was a line in a slight different place or something, and he got massacred. He had to stop wearing them.
I'm assuming people...
Rightly so, though. Don't buy fakes.
If it was at school, people were just treading all over them, weren't they, and stamping on them. And
I don't think they lasted that long.
At our school anyway. Well, anyway.
Christening them. That's what it's called.
Exactly,
like I say, it gets me back in the mood for football.
Definitely.
It's an interesting take on it, isn't it? You see... It is punk rock, that, because people are just sat on the barriers with a beer in the hand, waving flags and stuff, and it looked like chaos, but it looked like great fun.
And that's what games are.
Organised chaos, wasn't it, there, I think?
And if everyone's got the right attitude of acceptance, then you wouldn't think there's going to be violence and stuff. Like, it's a chaotic environment, but very safe at the same time.
Yeah. You listening, Millwall? Anyway, I hope you like that too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and cheers for that, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Nice one.